AITA for telling my sisters to take care of their own fucking kids? My sisters were auntie brothers. They treated me badly and hurt my feelings. Now they want me to help babysit their kids. I refused and told them to do it themselves. I'm 24M, the youngest of my parents' 3 kids. My older sisters are Sarah, 28F, and Liv, 26F. Sarah and Liv were BFFs growing up, always together. Shared everything. The whole TV trope of close sisters. That was my sisters. The other part that was very TV-like was their anti-boy rhetoric and specifically anti-brother. They never liked me being near them and they'd always say I was embarrassing to them, that I was gross, which I wasn't dirty or anything, that they wanted sisters and not brothers, that boys weren't allowed to play whatever games they were playing. It hurt my feelings as a kid and they were punished for being cruel on occasion. Not all the time, but it happened a few times and I know our parents got concerned enough to try therapy, both individual for us all and family therapy together. It was in family therapy when my sisters loudly proclaimed they would never love me or want a brother. They said boys are disgusting and nobody wants them, and they wanted someone to come and take me away forever so they never had to see me again. My parents put a lot of focus into giving me outside focus too, so the stuff with my sisters wouldn't destroy me. It wasn't always perfect. I did wish at a younger age that my sisters would care, but I had friends, hobbies, activities, and stuff to keep me distracted, and my parents kept working on my sister's treatment of me because it went beyond just not being close. Their attitude toward me did not change. I was very much in the not family camp when Sarah got married and when Sarah and then Liv started having babies. I was not included or invited to anything, even to meet their kids when they were born. I was not sent any announcements. My parents and other family got those. I'm not even their social media friend follower. They both have accounts set to permission needed to follow. I'm truly over it them by now. I know nothing will change, and honestly I don't want to, and fuck the whole don't hold kids actions against them because they have not been kids for years. Now they have some kids that are a bit older and both sisters want to work. They tried to share a nanny and babysitter, but I guess they got tired of paying for both for different occasions, so they approached me to be a babysitter. They told me I should help take care of their kids since I'm supposed to be family or whatever. I asked if they were serious and then I rolled my eyes at them hard. They said I had a shitty attitude. I told them they can take care of their own fucking kids and they won't be using me after 24 years of wanting my existence to go away. They accused me of being as bad as them for responding in the way that I did. AITA, relevant comments. Commenter, NTA. They clearly told you they didn't want you in their family and went out of their way to exclude you even as adults. You owe them nothing. They are basically strangers to you who happen to be related to your family, and accusing you of being as bad as them is absurd. They got their wish. No brother. They should deal with it. Commenter. My main concern is if they have had any sons, seeing as they hate boys and all that. Though obs don't hate boys enough have not procreated. But seriously, I hope they're decent to their kids as they have no track record of decency. Commenter. Yeah, I wondered how they reconciled their boys are gross attitude with their husbands. Commenter. NTA. Agreed. OP learned from the best on how to treat others. Please block them completely. You owe them nothing. I'm 24M. I just found my wife has been cheating on me with multiple partners for the past 2 years. My wife has been acting strangely and avoiding me. Recently I checked and got an STD. I was shocked when I found out my wife cheated on me with multiple men. Now I collect evidence and plan to confront her. I'm in shock and I really need some advice right now. Me, 40 million, and my wife, 37F, have been married for 10 years and we recently celebrated our anniversary. We have 2 wonderful kids together. Since the beginning of the year, things have been off between us. She's been acting strangely since the beginning of the year, irritable, avoiding me, and we haven't been intimate much. Some days she's happy, some others fully irritated. Sometimes she's a great mother to our kids, some other times she wishes they had never been born. Recently, I had to go to the urologist for a urinary tract infection, and the test suggested it might be an STD. This was a huge shock because I've never been with anyone other than my wife since we started dating. Right now, she's away at a so-called business seminar, of which I talked about in a different post. She has been keeping diaries for over a decade, and out of desperation, I read them for the first time ever. It turns out she's been having multiple sexual partners for the past 2 years. In particular, there was one affair that lasted over a year, and it seems part of her irritability was due to her lover moving on to someone else. I also discovered she has a hidden Tinder account too, and been meeting with other men regularly. I am devastated beyond words. I feel lost and unsure of what to do, especially since we have 2 little kids who mean the world to me. I need some advice on how to handle this situation. Should I confront her immediately? Should I consult a lawyer first? How do I even begin to process this betrayal and protect my kids through all of this? Thank you for any guidance you can offer in this incredibly difficult time. Additional information from OOP. Thank you for all the comments. As everyone's suggesting, I'll try to consult discreetly with a lawyer ASAP, gather as much evidence as I can, get the STD treated, and, as painful as it is, perform paternity tests on my kids. To be honest, I'm a complete mess right now and cannot think properly. All kinds of thoughts are crossing my mind. Part of me still loves her and wants to forgive her. The other is just full of disgust and hatred and wishes I've never even met her at all. I wish I could just disappear right now. Comments. Commenter 1. Copies of evidence to lawyer. Go full NC. Serve her. Don't drink. Work out. Good luck. Commenter 2. Get proof. Get a lawyer. Do what the lawyer says. Commenter 3. Assuming an open marriage has no appeal to you. 1. Take a deep breath and start lifting weights and eating right. These will help you process the emotions in a healthy way instead of drowning in the bottle. 2. Don't say anything to her. 3rd, document all evidence. 4th, talk a lawyer first before making any moves. 5. It's probably been happening your entire marriage. Get paternity tests on your kids. Suggest 23andMe as something fun. 6. Plan your next move and execute on it like a divine masculine. Treat the divorce and custody battle like a business negotiation. Keep emotions low. 7. Remember, this is going to extremely traumatizing to your children. Keep their mental health at the forefront always. Do not talk badly about your wife. If she tries to destroy your relationship with them or lay the blame at your feet, just stay calm. Tell them you love them, and this is between her and you, but you both love them very much, and it's nothing they did. Don't tell them about your wife's indiscretions until they're old enough to handle it, if ever. Update. 1 month later. Thank you all for your invaluable advice and support. It has been a tremendous help during this difficult time. After my last post, my in-laws kindly offered to look after the kids while my wife was away at her seminar. They remain unaware of the turmoil I've been experiencing. I used this time to go through her diaries and take pictures of their contents. Each entry felt like a stab in the back, leaving me in a state of shock and disbelief. I just don't recognize anymore the person I thought I knew and loved for over a decade. To avoid going into too much detail, the revelations in the diaries would make any movie or TV series I've ever seen pale in comparison. She has been involved with at least 6 different men over the past 2 years. These affairs occurred not only during her so-called seminars, but also during short business trips, dinners, and other supposed work-related events. Meanwhile, I was at home, taking care of the kids, and naively believing I was supporting her career. Some entries vividly describe how great these encounters were for her, all while expressing gratitude towards me for being a devoted husband and father without a single trace of remorse. This lack of guilt and the extent of her deception make me question her emotional and mental state. While reading through the diaries, I felt an overwhelming sense of despair and was seriously contemplating suicide. In the end, I sought refuge with friends for a few days, as I felt I couldn't be alone. Otherwise, I'd do something that could never be taken back. They really supported me a lot during this time and helped me get in contact with a therapist. I'm now taking regular therapy sessions once per week. They also helped me in getting in touch with lawyers specializing in divorce. I'm also getting treatment for my STD as well. Returning home after picking up the kids from my in-laws was an emotionally devastating experience. I couldn't bring myself to smile at all. At some point, while contemplating all the possible ways I could end my life, my daughter just looked at me and saw my face. Without saying a word, she just came over and wrapped her arms around me. At that moment, I broke down, held her tightly, and burst into tears in front of her. She's my sweet angel, and the shame of having considered leaving my kids to suffer under their mother's disdain was almost too much to bear. For the first few weeks after finding out, I could barely sleep at all and had to depend on sleeping pills just to get through the nights. My motivation was at an all-time low, affecting both my home life and my work. I forced myself to continue exercising and found out it was the only thing that actually made me feel better during this time. To whoever said in the previous post that I shouldn't give up on doing exercise, thank you. You may have just saved my life. The stress intensified after my wife returned from her trip. Initially, it took all my energy to hide my disgust at her and the knowledge I had gained about her actions. I've somewhat got used to this now, but it remains emotionally draining. She did notice that something was off, but still appears to believe that I am entirely unaware of what has transpired. Her lack of shame is staggering. Just recently, she asked me to buy her the expensive gift I promised her for our 10-year anniversary, for which I made an excuse to not buy yet, despite her going into another business trip just the day after our anniversary, which was described in extremely painful detail in her diaries. To make matters worse, she was even arranging to meet her latest partner on the day of my birthday. Nowadays, I've started to feel a lot better, thanks to exercise and therapy. I had never been to a therapist before in my life, and to be honest, I am regretting not having done it sooner. Despite my wife betraying me in the worst possible way, part of me still thought that maybe all of this was my fault. Maybe if I had done this, if I had put more effort into that, I blamed myself for a lot of things. My therapist helped me see through it that while I could have done some things differently, in the end, I cannot be held responsible for the actions she chose to take, and no one deserves to be betrayed in the way I was. If I'm at fault for anything, it's for blaming myself for everything, always putting her needs ahead of my own, and trusting her unconditionally without question. While it was extremely hard for me to balance work and looking after the kids alone every time she went on any of these trips, I always let her go after convincing myself that I was doing it for her, to support her business, to let her relieve stress from being at home, that this is what a supportive husband would do, and that if maybe I had a better job or made her happier, she wouldn't feel the need to escape from home. I'd be lying if I said I'm not depressed anymore, but I'm certainly doing much better better these days. Nowadays, I feel more rage rather than sadness, and it is the rage that's keeping me going. My therapist advised me to channel this rage into the things I do, which has worked surprisingly well. I talked with 2 law firms about my situation and was advised to collect more evidence, which I've been devoting myself to for the past few weeks. I've finished digitizing all of her diaries from the past 2 years, which were quite a lot. I got access to her computer and found just way too many photos, chat conversations, and documents to help my case. She's been posting all of her adventures into a very distorted private group in Facebook, to which I've also taken plenty of screenshots of. I've compiled a list of all of her sexual partners in the diaries and have been identifying them one by one on social media, etc. I've gathered everything I could on her current sexual partners and managed to figure out where they live and/or work. Now I'm debating whether I should confront them or not. The things I've read in these diaries are so bizarre that I thought maybe she was just writing material for some sort of twisted novel. That is, until I found all the other stuff in her computer, etc. Maybe I'm broken myself as well, but a part of me is actually enjoying this process of gathering all these tiny pieces of evidence and information, cross-referencing them with her diaries, and finding everything I can about her and her lovers. Part of me wants to see her burn on social media by posting directly everything I've found out, since a big part of her business is centered around social media, but I'm refraining myself from doing so since this would also affect both me and the kids, as well as her parents, who have been nothing but kind to me since we got married. I'm also not sure if I should bring this to light to her parents as well, since this will probably devastate them. I'm planning on confronting her after talking further with the lawyers about how to make sure to gain custody of my kids. The country I live in has a rather unfair tendency of granting custody to the mother, even if she's unfit for it, setting the terms of the divorce and child support. In any case, thank you all for the advice. A few weeks ago, I was in full despair and had no idea what to do, nor how to approach the situation. Nowadays, I feel that little by little I'm digging myself out of this hole I've been thrown into. Sorry if I don't respond to all your comments. Right now, my full attention is devoted to protecting my kids. Commenter 1. Well, let's hope you talk to your lawyer again soon. I'm not sure why you need more evidence, but you have plenty now. Have her served in public. Heck, even at a seminar she is supposedly at. Commenter 2. Don't confront. Don't let her know a damn thing until you have all of your ducks in a row. Don't post anything on social media. Don't confront any of her lovers. Just keep doing what you're doing. Let her find out when she's served. Commenter 3. What an absolute piece of shit your wife is. Document and keep gathering information to do everything you can to get full custody of your children. Do it for them. They'll grow up and come to understand that their mother is a mentally ill whore that destroyed their family. Keep going to therapy and see a psychiatrist and get on medication if they deem it needed. You need to keep your nerve and a level head as you go through this. Meanwhile, look up Grey Rock and 180. Story 3. AITA for returning my homemade wife's birthday gift me and telling her I don't want it. I then went out and bought what I actually wanted. I need an outside opinion on this. This has been an ongoing issue that I have talked to her multiple times about. My wife makes less money than me and is the type of person who prefers to make her own gifts for people. The issue is, she will do this even if the person doesn't want this. I will use myself as an example. For the past few years, she has made every single gift I have been given. No matter what I asked for, I get a homemade gift. Doesn't matter if it is cheap or not. Last Christmas, I asked for a new few things and I got a homemade scarf. I always get her the stuff she wants. I have talked to her about this multiple times. My birthday was yesterday and I asked her to give me a book. It was only $25 and I sent her the link. I opened the gift and she made some homemade bookmarks. It wasn't even the type of bookmarks I liked. They were made from fabric and I like the wooden ones. I must have made a face because she asked what was wrong. I told her I didn't want these. I made it so clear what I actually wanted and I have talked to her so many times. I handed them back and went out to buy the book. We had a big fight when I got back. She claimed I was being ungrateful and a jerk. Relevant comments. Commenter, how disparate is your wife's income compared to yours? Does she have access to your income? Is she living in poverty while you have cash to throw around? OP, I make about $30,000 more than her. We have shared accounts and I pay for most things. Like the mortgage, she makes about $40,000 before taxes. She has enough money to buy a $25 book. She also could just use the shared account also. Commenter, does she know she could use the shared account? How much savings does she have? Is she putting all her money into the joint account? Or does she have money set aside for personal spending? You are NTA for not wanting handmade gifts, but you need to tell her very clearly, no more handmade stuff. OP, yes, obviously she uses it all the time. She has money. We are not poor. She is not poor even though she makes less since I pay more. Also, I have told so many times. Commenter, I agree with you on the bookmarks, but not on the scarf. If it was crochet, do you have any idea the time that takes? It's a lot. It might be her love language. If that's the case, just saying, I don't want homemade gifts won't do. OP needs to explain that they show and receive love differently. He knows she's trying to show show she loves him, but on his side, it's coming off as the opposite. Edit to add. Only one person read past love languages before replying. I'm saying what she is doing is unacceptable. She is using her love language and getting mad that he's not appreciative. She may think she is showing love, but it is being received as an insult because he wants to be heard. He wants her to listen and give him the gift he actually wants. So she's thinking, this is a great gift. And he's thinking, holy fuck, why can't you just listen? If this is the case, just hearing, please just get me a book, might not hit home. She might think that is a bad gift because it's not thoughtful, so she ignores it as him being polite. But the point is, she ignores it. She's not listening to what his love language is. Jesus. And to the guy who said, what if he gave his wife a 69 Camaro when she likes acts of service? Fuck. As long as it's not someone who hates gifts, we all want a car. If I don't like the car, I can sell it. I'll take the car. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you enjoyed our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated with our latest one. Have a great day.